All right, this is Ken Birdsall from Sunnyside Chevrolet. Today we're going to look at this 2019 Chevy Trax. If you want a quick walk around, just want to take a quick peek at it, take a look at that link in the top right hand corner. This one's going to go a little bit more in depth as we go around it, and I will cover some of the new features for the 2019. There's not really much to talk about. Everything's pretty much stayed the same. Few color changes, no more red hot availability, and they're adding Pacific blue, dark copper, and satin steel metallics. And they're going to have a new nameplate on the back for Premier, which it looks like they're changing across the board. This is an LT, so you won't see it, but the Premier, if you're familiar with the old Premier logo, it's going to change that around a little bit here. This one is Mosaic Black Metallic. Again, it's an LT. No convenience packages, no real extras. The only thing that's added is wheel locks. We do that here as a safety thing, more or less. But I'll let you kind of take a look. These are all, if you can pause here, those are all standard features for the LT. And this is a front wheel drive. It is all-wheel drive availability there, so you have 24,170 before rebates and discounts. Take a look at your fuel economy. This is, I really like this. 31 miles to the gallon on a crossover SUV is phenomenal. That's why more people are considering SUVs now. And crash test ratings really good here. And obviously there's some foreign things. Take it or leave it. It's actually a really nice vehicle. Everybody that has bought one of these from me has absolutely loved it. No regrets at all from a single one. From the front end, we'll take a look. You got your LED daytime running lamps. I think that is standard on the LT and higher. With the LT, now this is Mosaic Black, so it's a little bit harder to tell. But if you had a, let's say it's a blue, or let's say it's a white, these mirror caps would match the body color. And same for the door handles. 16-inch rims are standard. You have availability for 18-inch, especially if you go with like a Redline Edition or Premier. And take a look. So have your standard cap, not capless yet. I'm not sure why they didn't do that on the 19th here, but that's all right. Take a look at the back. We'll kind of start back here. So electronic release button here, your backup camera is right there if you can make it out. There we go. And here we go. So we take a look in the back. Underneath, maybe spare tire. Okay. And this can come out if you need it to. As we look at this here, your closeout panel here. Easy release, you just take those off. And then I'm going to pause here, but I wanted to show you. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up from the bottom right here and right here. Those just pop in and out. But for sake of video, I'm going to pause for you. Alright, so those just come right out. Now, this is actually a really good feature that a lot of people don't know about that the Trax has. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so bear with me. But it actually has a slide-in spot for storage. We found a lot of people were just throwing them in the garage or throwing them out, or they're just getting in everybody's way. It actually has a storage spot that opens up this whole back compartment. Now, if you don't need that, you can take it all the way out. All right, so from the back, you can release down each of these seats, but what you're going to want to do first, before you do that, it's kind of different from the Equinox where you could do that. The Trax has kind of a unique folding system. So down here below, you're going to see this little tab. We're going to pull that out, and the seat bottom's actually going to flip forward. And then, what I find it's easier to do it from this side, or you could do it from the back at this point. But it allows the seat to really fold a lot flatter. And it's 60-40 split, so you can do it on either side. You do have cup holders, well, I do want to mention that. Cup holder armrest. Okay, so 60-40 split. Now I'm going to come up front from here and show you the fold down, which that's one level. There it goes. And this front passenger seat actually folds down flat too. So from this dash all the way to the back is 8 feet. They have all the way through. So people really, you know, when you look at this from the outside, you're like, oh, this is a really small crossover SUV. There's no way you could get 8 feet long in there. And there you have it. That's how you do it. All right. So behind this third row, you have just over 18 cubic feet of storage space, or behind the second row, I'm sorry. Behind the second row, or first row, it's over 48 cubic feet of storage space. So lots of room for cargo. If you need cargo and passenger, then maybe the Equinox or Traverse would be better for you, but if it's just you or just two of you, there's definitely lots of room. While I'm up front here, I do want to show you the front dash. I'd really like the leatherette, I guess, incorporated stitching all inside here. You have the Infotainment 3 system. We're going to take a look at that here in a little bit. And actually there's a 120 volt behind here that is standard on the LT as well. We'll take a look at the other side, let you take a look at the passenger door panel. Some people will say it's cheap. They're cheap looking, cheap feeling. It's not a Tahoe. It's not a Suburban. It's not meant to be. So that's all I got to say on that. Take a look at some other things on the inside. We'll actually hop up front here in a second. All right, so as we come up here to the power locks, power windows, power mirrors. Those are all standard on even on the LS trim. If you go to convenience package, you're going to get like power adjusting seat. You'll get some other different features here. It does have manual adjusting seat, but it does have the lumbar support that is standard on there too. This lever, if you push down, it's just about all the way down, or if you lift up, it's kind of a pump action to raise or lower your seat. And then your backrest is back over here. That's gonna incline or recline your seat there. Little storage compartment here. This button here, a lot of people don't always wonder what it is. It's just meant to kind of tuck away so you don't accidentally turn that when you're meaning to turn your lights on. So when you pop that out, you can adjust here. When your lights are on, it's going to adjust the brightness of your radio screen and your instruments. You can tuck that away there, and your automatic light control. I turn them on so you'll be able to see the LED daytime running lamps and everything else there. Do want to highlight here, we're going to take a look at the engine here in a minute, but I do want you to see the hood release, obviously gas, brake, everything there. For your forward and backward adjustment on the seat, it's that lever down there to the right. It is telescopic for the steering column, which is a little bit hard to do at the angle I'm at, but you just do it there, and lock and release. I'm gonna hop in here. The seat is very high, so bear with me as you see the video shake. All right, nice steering wheel. Reminds me a lot, kind of the outside feel feels a lot like the new Equinox, the 19 Equinox. We got the cruise control on the left hand side, and which is standard on the LT, not on the LS. And then you have your Bluetooth hands-free radio selection. If I were on my radio here, you'll be able to see it. Actually, there's no preset, so that's why that's not working. But you can do volume up and down from here as well. Your fuel gauge all the way on the left. Speedometer, which actually shows as digital. It's kind of cool. All of these features, now you see where it says trip and there's a little divot. I'm going to hit this menu button on the left arm, and you'll see where now it's under vehicle. If I tap that menu button again, it'll go back to trip. And then if I come back on this arm, you'll see this little rubber grip. You can rotate it either way. It kind of retracts back automatically. Okay, that lets you cycle through when you're on a certain tab. So on this tab, on vehicle tab, you're going to see remaining oil life, tire pressure, and units. And when we go back to trip, you'll see your speed average vehicle speed, average fuel economy, instantaneous fuel economy, fuel range, that's a really important one, your tripometers, and you can remove some of these screens if you don't want to have that many on there, but that's basically how it runs. Your compass, odometer, lets you know which gear you're in and if you have a door open. So it's really kind of basic. It's not, you know, super fancy, but it's not meant to be a luxury vehicle, but yet there are some nice amenities, especially when you go up to the premier trim level. When we get one in, I will do a video here for you. We do not have one as of recording date here. And then obviously your windshield wiper. You do have a rear windshield wiper, which controls run on the end here. Still a turnkey. The convenience package gives you a push button, but more and more going to that. As of right now, this is still just a standard 1.4. There's no, or a 1.4 turbo, but there is no auto stop on it, though. I imagine they eventually will. So this is the Infotainment System 3 on a 7-inch MyLink radio. They've really changed. Now, they had these on the 18, so it's not really anything new to the Trax for 2019, while a lot of other models are still just getting them right now. The Trax was one of the first ones to get this system. Really nice. You probably find a lot of reviews from last year. Not really anything has changed here. Time, temperature, 4G LTE Wi-Fi hotspot built in. That's still going on. Although they did just raise the price. It's $25 a month now, unless you're grandfathered in. You do have some shortcuts you can do across the bottom. And the home button does the same as hitting this home button. Eventually, I'm thinking some of these physical buttons will go away. But for now, if I do audio, all of your presets are across the top. Right now there are none. So if I wanted to program this 98.5 as a preset, just push and hold till you hear that little beep, and it'll actually tell you that it's preset as well. You can change it from FM, AM, XM, more. Will take you Bluetooth right now is the only other option. If you have something plugged in through USB or auxiliary, those will show up on here as well. But because there is nothing, you don't get anything. And we're going to head back. And basic tuning, it's really not too hard. You can either scroll or you can actually type in if you know your radio station. Navigation. It does not have built-in navigation. This is going to go through OnStar. More or less, the bigger thing that I like to point out with folks is that you have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay built in. They have their own icons now for this radio system. But Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is a standard feature on all Trax 2019s, 2018s are all standard. You can mirror your phone to it. You just plug in through the USB port down here, and you can use it, and it's free. You know, it just uses your phone's data, so be aware of that. Wi-Fi hotspot, you can turn that on and off here, and your OnStar services, which are also up on your radio, you can reach it here. Phone, obviously, if you pair up, I don't have a phone paired right at this moment, but it's so easy compared to older vehicles. How to add a phone, it's really, really easy. As we come down here, we'll take a look. Traction control. Some of your other safety features will have buttons here that are not on this one, and your hazards. All your climate control. I'm not going to go into all of that. USB auxiliary again. You have a 12 volt down here, and a nice little storage area up there. Your shifter, if you want to go into kind of a manual mode, just drop it down to M and do that. Cup holders all down below, and again you have that 120 volt back here. Emergency brake, driver side only. This is one thing that still gets me. Kind of one of my biggest disappointments with the Trax. So the driver side is the only one that gets an armrest. It's very small. Passenger side does not get one. There's barely enough room to be able to do that, but they did not put it in here. Again, this cloth, you can get like a cloth leatherette available as well. Kind of back out so you can take a look at the whole dash. Get a feel for that. Remote start is standard on the LT still. I do like to point that out. It is on here. And you have all of your OnStar. Again, there we are. No sunglass holder. I believe it's on the Premier though. Don't quote me on that. We'll find out when it gets here. And you can control your overhead lights here. 5 passenger. There are seat belts for 5. This is a very popular. They release really well, and they usually have a really good fair amount of rebates. So let's take a look at the engine here, and then we'll get you on your way. All right. So here's a 1.4 liter turbo engine, Ecotec. It's got 138 horsepower and 148 pound-foot of torque. Well, that's a room down in there. It's actually surprising how much room. It's maybe a little bit hard to gather from the video. Maybe this angle you see how much room there really is here. Good quality vehicle. I mean, you're getting over 30 miles per gallon highway. It's a good family vehicle, single college student. It's really good all the way around. Alright, so there you have it. It's the 2019 Chevy Trax. This one's right here at Sunnyside Chevrolet in Elyria, Ohio. If you live up in Northeast Ohio in the Cleveland area and want to come check it out, give me a call at 440-365-7311. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and you guys have a great day.